What's up, y'all? It's Controversial Shannon, and I know I look a little rough. It's time for me to go get a haircut. I've been a little lazy, but one thing that I wanted to touch on is that God told me all these people that say, or a lot, not all, but a lot of these people that say God told me. When you hear that, you probably should go the other direction, or not listen to them at all because a lot of them be lying. People use this God told me saying very loosely in today's time. And honestly, if we was living in the Old Testament, a lot of them would be stoned because they're lying on God. Just like with all these prophets during the Trump versus Biden election, a lot of them were, God told me Trump is going to get a second turn and blah, 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 blah. And Trump lost. Every single one of them should have been stoned if we were in the Old Testament. Better be lucky that y'all, some of these people are lucky that we live under God's grace. I don't even know why people are so bold saying God told me. You better be absolutely sure that God told you something. See, a lot of these people nowadays are so spiritual, but they're not biblical. And then it's fake spiritual. I said spiritual, I'm sorry. And then it's fake spiritual, right? Because your spirituality, when you're rooted in Jesus, should match the Bible. You got Christians saying that they don't need the Bible. Why would you say you don't need the Bible? God left you his word. That's why I would rather trust the Bible says than God told me. Because I believe that God gave me everything in his word. Now, does God still speak to people? Of course. Of course. Do I believe God still speaks to people? Of course. God spoke to me. But I'm just not loosely saying this term. And I'm definitely not going to say, God told me to tell you. God told me to tell you that Trump is going to win the election. God told me to tell you that you're going to have financial blessings in 3 days. They be having these specific prophecies and then they don't come to pass. And then they'll flip it and say that you ruined the blessing that God took. What? No. So you people that love to say God told me and blah, 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 you better be careful because God is still God, okay? The same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And if he wants to, he will strike you down and take you out for falsely or for using his name in vain. Be careful. And then you self-proclaim prophets. Okay. Stop playing with God. Some of y'all need to stop playing with God. These Marcus Rogers and all these other, I don't even know what to call them. Preachers, prophets. Be careful. Be very careful using this statement of God told me. Because no prophet in the Bible has ever got it wrong. If we were in the Old Testament, you would get stoned to death. You better be sure that God told you something. And if you say God told me to tell you, you better be sure that God told you to tell that person. Otherwise, you are lying on God. I wouldn't even play with that statement. That statement is powerful. God Almighty, the one who made the heavens and the earth, the one whose son came down to die for me on a cross personally and saved me so that my name would be written in the book of life. I would be very careful saying God told me. But watch, I predict right now, in the next few months, You're going to see these people talking about, God told me Trump would win this term. Please shut up. It's about time some of you fake prophets keep your mouth shut, because you're not really a prophet. You're a liar. And you're using God for money. You're getting people hopes up. Be careful. God ain't no God to be playing with.